Homeowners, it's not a question of if, but when the next hurricane will come. No matter what Florida weather has in store, StormSmart has products that protect every opening of your home while improving the look, feel, and function. From durable aluminum shutters, high-impact windows and doors, to our innovative storm catcher screens, products that enhance the beauty of your home and keep your family safe. Because smart is complete hurricane protection, and smart is peace of mind. Call StormSmart today for your free in-home consultation.
When your power goes out, remember just how inconvenient your life can be. No lights, no refrigeration, no heating or cooling, no electronics. But with a Generac home standby generator, you'll have power when you need it. Our Generac generators automatically provide backup power after sensing a power outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Get a free 10-year warranty with the purchase of any air-cooled generator. Call Generac Generators today. Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power.
We've got some clouds out there, even a couple of sprinkles as another front rolls through the area. Most of us wake up to sunshine and then very warm temperatures in the afternoon. Our temperatures, they're going up and they're staying up. Really nice forecast, especially if you're planning on going to the beach or the pool. Rain chances very slim. Another beautiful day in store. It's going to bring us a very high chance of storms. Some isolated showers across the area. Mother Nature likes to remind us that it isn't set by a calendar. We're always on it for you just in case things begin to pop.
Streaming from the ABC Action Weather Center in Studio A. This is Dennis Phillips Live. Sponsored by StormSmart. Protect every opening of your home with StormSmart. And by Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power.
How you doing, everybody? It is a Tuesday night edition of Dennis Phillips Live, and today we are going to obviously cover the weather that's going on, because a pretty strong storm's going on right now in northern Hillsborough County and Pasco County. We're going to jump into that first thing. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. And I'm going to share a lot of this with y'all because the folks who are here, I mean, this is kind of our core group, right? The streamers and the Facebook followers and the Instagram followers. I mean, we've got, what, 1.5 million followers on that area. And, you know, we always stream it on those platforms. But starting July 1, we are going to be on broadcast TV. And I want to I'm going to give you a little bit of background about what's going on behind the scenes as we approach July 1. Because I'll be honest, you know, it's a little stressful for me. I do this and, you know, they just let me go. You know, I'm just talking and we're just conversing. I liken our show, and it is our show. I mean, this is our show. It's been our show for over 15 years. We've been doing live stuff. It wasn't on Facebook, but if you know, you know, the Jules and the Steves and the Lisas and the Joeys and the folks who have been part of this group from day one. You know, we put this together. We really developed it together. It was trial and error. I mean, we did movie quote trivia all night long during hurricane coverage, and we had 70s music where you could play, which you can no longer do that because Facebook has the algorithm, they hear it, and it knocks you off immediately. We had our fireside chats where we used a double box, and one was a YouTube video of a fireplace, until that got knocked me off because it was violating YouTube. So we're learning the process, but so many of the suggestions have come from you guys. I mean, it is an us. And I was talking to somebody today in promotions, and we were kind of describing the show. People were like, what the heck is that? I'll get to that in a second. But, you know, this is kind of like a talk show, but you guys are the guests. And I say that because I really think that is the way this is going to try to end up playing out when we go broadcast TV on July 1. Because I think most people who watch us on Facebook are going to still watch us on Facebook because you can comment, right? And the people who are going to be watching us on TV, well, it's a totally different experience because they're not going to see the comments. And we will have commercial breaks. And that's the stuff that's really making me a little nervous because it's formatted. I have to hit commercial breaks at a certain time. This button right here. So engineering installed this button. If I press it now, I don't think anything happens. I want to press it. I don't think it's, let's press it. Yeah, okay, it's not hooked up yet. Good thing. All of a sudden I see the TV go to black over there. So we're going to have our stuff the same. So we're still on Facebook, we're still on Instagram, you know, but what we'll see on broadcast is there will be commercial breaks. So when I hit that button, it'll go to the commercial break, and then there'll be a countdown somewhere for me here, I think, and it'll count down to when the commercial break's over, and then we start it up again. And like little subtle things, like, okay, we usually start our video stream at 7:30 with a countdown, but you're not gonna have a countdown on broadcast TV, right? That's on a streaming thing or on Facebook, but not on TV. So what we're figuring out is, okay, we run the countdown. If it's 1:30 with the commercial on the countdown and the open like we just had, you know, maybe I run that at 28:30, and then it ends right at 7:30, and then there's a 5-second open like any other broadcast show. Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome to Dennis Phillips Live. Here's Dennis, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So these are all things that we're going to be learning. So my point is, there's probably going to be a lot of opportunities for major blunders and bloopers on my part starting July 1. So, you know what? And I embrace that because you guys know me. I can laugh at myself, and when there's things that go wrong, we go for it, and we kind of learn from the process as a group. So that being said, you know, we've still got our ban button. They still know that's part of the deal, and we're always looking for suggestions. Always look, because this is a Monday through Friday thing. Starting July 1, this is Monday through Friday, not just when there's weather going on. Now, I'm off a couple of weeks in July and August, and I think Greg's going to take over for me. And Greg is certainly capable of talking and doing this for 30 minutes. So it's going to have a learning curve. I think I'm okay. I'm not concerned at all about the show, but the timing and everything else, it's going to be kind of interesting. Let's jump into radar real quick. And Anders, it's funny you say that, because I was talking to some people about that. Honestly, I think there's a definite group of people who are just here for bans. Banning has become a thing, and I'm not really sure I thought it was going to be that way. Anna Maria sent me the ban button, and there's another one in the back in case this one breaks, so we do have an alternate. But I never foresaw the zest in which people want someone banned. Jody, you are still unhidden. You are. I see you, but they can't, so I will unhide you, and there you are. Jody, I have no idea. You should do a different screen name for DPL. You should literally add a different Facebook account for DPL, because for the life of me, I do not know why yours is showing that way. It's the craziest thing. So, but anyway, and exactly right, Anita. During the commercial breaks is when we'll have the opportunity to be more chit-chat one-on-one. But I'm still going to make it as part of the show, because even though the people can't see it on TV, it's going to be my responsibility. Well, hey, Anita says, so we can chit-chat during. So, you know, and then that might even encourage people to do both, to watch on TV, but yet still follow on Facebook for comments or something. I don't know. It's a learning experience. All right, this sign over here, there's a story behind it. Last year, when Helene and Milton were coming, I got to the station and there were literally no parking spots. 0 parking spots. And the wind was blowing, it was raining, because I went out for a couple hours just to get myself ready for the 30, 40 straight hours we're going to be on the air. And so Jillian, you guys have heard me talk about Jillian from time to time. Jillian is a producer at the station, Jillian Ramos. Great, she's awesome. She's a huge Lightning fan, probably the biggest Lightning fan that I know. And anyway, she got me that sign to put out there for parking, so I will have a parking spot. So next time there's a hurricane coming, I will actually have a place to park at the station. So I thought that was very funny. All right, let's jump in real quick I say, and do a little radar summary. Then we're going to talk tropics, and I'm going to answer your questions. Eric, you are a Penn Stater as well. We are. You know what, Eric, I'm going to tell you a Penn State story, and you guys are going to love this story. I promise you, it's a funny story. But let's get into the radar real quick. So here's a live look right now, okay? And the storms that were actually even 15, 20 minutes ago in eastern Pasco northern Hillsborough are getting a little bit weaker. In fact, they're getting quite a bit weaker. Let's go ahead and take this out of show mode so I can just zoom around a little bit easier. So you are seeing one shower just north of the Howard Franklin, or just actually south of the Howard Franklin, north of the Gandy. One little shower popping up there. There is some rain in Hillsborough County, and if you look at the last 30 minutes, you'll kind of see the direction which it's moving. Now, we did not have a DP. Oh, watch this. See, look at it. See how it's expanding out to the west? That was a great shot. Zoop. See that? So that is a sign of things to come. Now, if you were watching, let's see if there's any hail with these. There were earlier. I don't think there is now. Let's look. So it has to load. It gets the area first, and then it loads. And not seeing any hail. There was about a half hour ago. Like if we go back, watch this. See the hail? See the purple? See, there was some hail out there, 647, even in southern Pasco. But now it doesn't look like there's any hail going on. And there's where the heaviest storms are. And they are kind of pushing off to the southeast a little bit. And we talked about this yesterday. Very often I talked a lot about it on TV. And so when the water temperature, you've heard me say this a gazillion times. Ron Morales was a meteorologist at the Weather Service in Ruskin. And gosh, this was 25 years ago, maybe I remember. He came up with the relationship saying, hey, when that Gulf water is about 86 degrees, 86, 87, that's kind of the magic number. And when you get a southwest flow, you will see morning coastal showers. And sure enough, the current water temperature is now 87 degrees. And what did we have this morning with a southwest flow? We had rain along the coast. And I talked about it last night. I'm like, you know what? I think we're going to see morning rain. I think we're going to see morning storms and potentially even a water spout or two, which very often happens with a southwest to west flow this time of the year. Didn't see any water spouts, didn't hear about any of that, but we definitely had the rain and the storms this morning. So, but tomorrow, and the winds are already beginning to veer, tomorrow we start to develop what we call our classic summertime pattern. We're in a southeast to east wind, and that means the mornings will be dry. So no rain expected in the morning. No rain expected probably through Father's Day morning. The rains will be in the afternoon and the evening. That's when we're going to get the bulk of our rain. Let's go ahead and I'm going to answer some questions. We're going to talk about stuff. Let's see. Andre. Andre's a Weisenheimer. He likes to call me nerd on the, which is, is valid, but celebrations in the house with Edward. How you doing, Edward? Sean is here looking for 540 lines. I don't believe. See, and these are things I'm going to have to explain to the TV viewers because I got to get them in the loop because they're not going to know a lot of this stuff because there's if you know, you know on almost every single thing with us. Let's go ahead and jump ahead and look at some of the forecast stuff, and then we'll chit-chat a little bit more. And I'm going to talk some tropics too. And actually I want to show you a few things or share with you a few other things that we got going on. One of which is the rule number 7 pale ale from Crooked Thumb. I'll talk about this now. Now, I'm sure I'm not supposed to talk about this, but you know me, I'm not a rule follower. So there's word that there's the possibility that maybe Publix might start carrying some of it. Now look, here's my take on that. If you're a store and you're not carrying rule number 7, what is wrong with you? Because this stuff sells out like that, especially with the cool new cans. Because the cans are here. Have you guys not seen the cans? Probably have, but I'm going to show you the cans if you haven't seen them anyway. See, we don't have several. See, if this were a high-tech show, we'd have several camera operators and they could zoom in on stuff, but no, we don't have that. But look at the cans. They're pretty cool. In fact, they're very cool. You see it better in the light, maybe. I don't know, it's too dark. Probably can't see it that well. But anyway, see, don't freak out. So it's pretty awesome. They sold out in one day at the Crooked Thumb, like hundreds and hundreds of 4-packs sold out. So what my suggestion is to you is to go to your favorite store and say, what the heck is your problem? Call the distributor and get rule number 7 because portions of the proceeds of these sales go to the hurricane relief efforts, and then at the same time, they're just really awesome cans. They're very, very cool looking. Except they make me look like Bill Clinton, and that is a fact. Somebody brought that up because the hair looks blonde. So I said to Kip, one of the owners, him and Sherry, I said, I'm like, next year maybe make the hair a little darker because it does really kind of look like Bill Clinton. But anyway, so if you're trying to get rule number 7, it is available or will be shortly at Lucan's in Dunedin. Also, they're working on Publix. And I repeat, if anybody from Publix is watching, are you kidding me? Stuff sells out like that. Why would you not do it? It's a no-brainer. Anyway, okay, so what was I talking about before I get, oh yeah, the weather. All right, let's jump back in. So let's go in and look at Futurecast through Father's Day weekend and the tropics, okay? So there's a live look at radar. Notice how the rains are beginning to expand out to the west a little bit, kind of back building a bit, all right? There's a live look. There were severe thunderstorm warnings around Orlando. Now there are aerial flood advisories because that rain has not moved and it is really coming down. Anders? All right, so, and again, this is something I'm going to have to watch out on TV because you guys know I jump in and out and go back and forth, and I don't know, I'll probably do the same. We had a major issue with the distributor who handled the shirts and the sweatshirts and the hoodies last year. The tumblers and the mugs, those are all great. Those are on Etsy. Never had a problem. Printify did that stuff. But there's a company that their name is Amaze or Teespring, and for several years they were awesome. And we had no problem at all. But last year, there was nothing but issues. They just gave excuse after excuse, and there were all these issues going on with it. And at the end of the day, there were several people that I said, look, just you got to file a credit card dispute because they weren't showing up. Now, I'm hearing 8 months later, literally, I'm hearing people who have ordered stuff 8 months later are getting their stuff. But we are changing our distributor because it's ridiculous. Literally 8 months. You know, and we donate proceeds to the local charities, Feeding Tampa Bay, Children's Miracle Network, whatnot. And we weren't, you guys, they weren't getting the shirts. We weren't getting the money. It was that we couldn't make the donations. Finally, they're getting back into it. But at the end of the day, we're going with a better company. So we decided to change, and that's going to be done shortly in the next week to 10 days, where everything will be on a website. All the tumblers, all the glasses, all the merch, everything will be on one website. And we're working on it right now feverishly. So hoodies, because I need to upgrade the hoodie. This is the OG one. We've got some really cool ones out there that because I buy them too, because you know the proceeds benefit the charities. So I'm going to be buying myself some as well. But for the folks who've been waiting for this stuff to get fixed, it will be done shortly. And Fourth Wall is going to be our new company that we're using. And hopefully they're dependable because Teespring used to be, but man, they're not anymore. It was just absolutely horrible. All right, Ren, how you doing? Okay, so Ren came by our house after getting, they came to, her and her friend were coming to look at the Christmas lights, and waiting in traffic, they got rear-ended, waiting for the Christmas lights last year. So I will forever remember Ren because they showed up at about 10:30 and they're like, yeah, we just got rear-ended, but we wanted to come to the Christmas lights. We're like, oh, sorry, because there's so much traffic at Christmas time. Anyway, she's asking about the Lightning Rule Number 7 collab. That is also in the works, all right? So we start broadcasting we're going to have a new TV station, the one the DPL is going to be on, starting July 1. And we're getting a lot of stuff, like clerical stuff out of the way here, but it's important stuff for folks because, again, this is our show. This is not my show. This is our show, which is why I love to get your input and your suggestions. Well, thank you, Ren, but I don't think it was, but thank you anyway. So anyway, what I was saying is starting July 1, we're going to be carrying all preseason Lightning games on this channel 66, I think it is. I don't know what channel it's going to be on Spectrum, if any. I don't know yet. But when I do, I'll let you know. But free Lightning preseason games, free Lightning regular season games, and free first round of the playoffs. That's the new channel, okay? And my show is going to be on our show is going to be on that channel, 7:30 to 8, Monday through Friday, starting July 1. One of the things the Lightning has proposed to us is having a a collab with their merchandise and their fundraiser and our fundraiser, the Rule Number 7 fundraiser. So we're working, I haven't heard any details of it yet, but I'm sure it'll happen as we get into July. So we're talking about, having some Rule Number 7 stuff along with some Lightning stuff where proceeds benefit the different charities. And I'm even thinking, maybe we can get some Rule Number 7 merch at Amalie, which would be really awesome with that collab, So that's something that is in the cards. Now, Michael just asked about what about coverage on that channel. It's a great question. So DPL, once we get into hurricane season really going, I'm on for 30 minutes, an hour, 90 minutes, whatever the case, every day talking about tropics. That to me is what I'm most excited about, because when the season gets going and we start to really need to talk about extensive coverage, I will be on broadcast. Even if I'm not on ABC Action News' channel, I will be on this channel on DPL. And we can even expand it into other time slots. So that, to me, is going to be awesome, because we actually can now do live broadcast TV, not just streaming and social at all times. Because some people don't like social media. Some people are missing our fun because they do not like Facebook or Instagram. But they're going to be able to see it. All right? DPL party before a Lightning game in the courtyard. Alex, absolutely, positively, that is a great idea. Yeah, like Rule Number 7 patches for Lightning jerseys, Julie. Those are great ideas. And I think now it isn't cable or stream; it's over-the-air television. Julie, you'll need an antenna. They sell them for $20. We'll talk about this again, because I'm going to go past 8. But so you can buy an antenna for $20 from Amazon, and you throw it out, or Walmart. You throw it right by your window or wherever, and it will pick up channels that are out there in the air, not cable channels. So they're all local channels, right? Like our channel has 4 or 5 channels. All the local channels have 4 or 5 channels, and they have different programs on them. This new channel, here, I'm going to show you something. I know I'm going to get yelled at for doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So, look, this is the schedule. Can you see? I don't know if you can see it or not, but this is some of the things that they're going to have on. And DPL right there is from 7:30 to 8. And then after that, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Suits, and whatnot. So it's going to be a regular TV station with regular programming, but not cable. Now, will it be on Spectrum? I don't know that answer. I'm sure there are negotiations with YouTube TV and Spectrum. I do not know. I do not know. But here's the thing about the antenna, and this is the other thing. Scripps has a device called Tableau. Scripps owns our station. Scripps has a device called Tableau. It's like a cable box. It works like a cable box with a tuner, with a guide, and with DVR on it, right? So it works just like a cable box, but it only picks up those channels that are floating around on the antenna. So you won't, people are like, well, will I get whatever channel that's on cable? You won't. You'll get the channels that are called OTA, over the air. And there's a lot of them. There's like 60, 70 channels, I believe. And they will show up on your guide, so you can record DPL or whatever show you want, DPL, and it will save, So, and those are no monthly fees. The box, I think, is anywhere between $80 and $100, one-time fee, and you'll have it forever. And that's how a lot of people are watching. You get all your local channels, and you get all the other stuff as well. So anyway, that's called Tableau, Tablo, and I'm sure we'll talk more about that. But that's the way it's going to work. Will it be on cable? I don't know yet, but we will find out. All right. We will still be streaming. We will still be on Facebook. We will be everywhere that we are now. We'll just be in another channel. Okay? We'll be in another channel, and that's starting July 1. And that channel, if you tune in with your antenna, is channel 66. I don't know if it's 66.1 or 2. I'm not really sure. We'll have more on that. But will it be on cable? Will it be on YouTube TV? Don't know yet. All right, let's go back. So we still have Father's Day weekend to talk about with the forecast. Yeah, exactly. You can get an HD antenna, Erica. You're exactly right. And Cruise Mike, how are you doing? Cruise Mike is here. Cruise Mike is my doppelganger. Funny story. Mike was on a cruise last year. Everybody was going up to him thinking he was me. And he does look like me. All right. So what about Roku? Fred, I do not know. It's a good question. Those are things that'll be answered, I promise. But boy, you guys have great questions. All right, so anyway, see, and here's the other thing about the new show. Here we go again. So I am supposed, for the TV people, there's, I think, going to be 2 or 3 commercial breaks. So that's going to be my problem. They're not going to be timed. They're going to be whenever I hit them. And I have to remember, in this 30-minute stretch, I got to get 3 commercial breaks in there. So that is going to be my biggest challenge. Because God knows, I can talk forever, right? But am I going to be able to remember at around 7:40 commercial, 7:50 commercial? I don't know. I'm going to have to, or I will be scolded profusely. I don't want to be scolded profusely. So that's going to be a tough one. The weather, Denise, are you related to Linda Hurtado? I don't know. Anyway, the weather will be late day storms. Coming in tomorrow night, you'll probably be okay. Yeah, I got to do something, Sal. I don't know. Oh, yeah, Eric, I got to tell you the Penn State story. You will laugh. I'm not going to have time by 8 o'clock, obviously, but I will tell it to you in a minute. Thanks for reminding me. All right, so there's a look at Futurecast. Tomorrow in the morning, it will not rain. Thursday in the morning, it will not rain. It took people 26 minutes to get to that. It will not rain in the morning. Thank you, Jody. It will rain in the afternoon. And there it is. That right there, for the first time all year, is our summertime pattern. Now, see, Scott just said he read that Spectrum will carry the spot 66 on Channel 17, formerly Ion. If I were a betting man, I would say that's probably how it's going to play out, because Ion is on 17. But I do not know that. But it makes the most sense to me. So if that's the case, then DPL will be on Channel 17 on Spectrum if it were to play out that way. But again, I do not know. Anyway, look at Futurecast. So starting tomorrow, we are finally into our afternoon and evening pattern, east to west flow. There's 4 o'clock, there's 5 o'clock, there's 6 o'clock, there's 7 o'clock, there's 8 o'clock, there's 9, and then it's gone. And it happens again on Thursday. No rain in the morning, easterly flow, maybe a shower near the bay around 1. But then the line comes in, mid to late afternoon, early evening. There it is. And then we'll see if the winds stay southeast or more southerly as we get into Father's Day weekend. So, bottom line is we are now, and there it is again. That's what we're looking at. So bottom line, we're finally in the rainy season. So we would expect that we are going to start getting a much better opportunity for drought-busting rains. Look at the coverage each day. Now, granted, a little less rain on Friday and Saturday, but whatever it is, the timing will be the same. It's all late afternoon, early evening. Erica said Ion 66.1 on the antenna. Thank you. So yeah, there you go. So literally what you'll be doing is you'll just, if you have a tuner and an HD antenna, you scan it. Usually the way that you work is you'll tell your TV to scan through the antenna mode, not the cable mode, and it will automatically detect where the channels are and save them. So it will detect one at 66.1. Or again, you can get a Tableau and have it all there in like a nice cable box with a guide on it and be able to DVR everything on there as well. That's the route I'm going. I'm going to get one of those Tableau things because, I have not cut the cord. I still have cable. I'm one of those old school guys. But why is my phone about to ring? I don't know. Oh, there was a 7-day. I missed that. Let's go back. All right, here's a 7-day. Right there. Let's take it full so you can see it. All right. Oh, the helicopter raindrops. Yeah, for you guys. I got to mention that. That's funny. Well, Sal, yes. It's only broadcast on local OTA. That's a good point, but it will still be available on streaming. All right, so there's the 7-day. Tropics are quiet. We're all good there. So we will talk to streamers tomorrow. Nadine Yanis will be here, DPL Plus. All right, so yeah, Nadine will be here live tomorrow with us on DPL Plus, and then we'll be back again on Thursday. It's not a chopper sound. It's actually raindrops. But for whatever reason, some people think it sounds like a helicopter. And we don't have an audio feed out of this computer into our control room, but we do have an audio feed from this weather computer into my computer, so therefore you do hear the audio output. So any graphics that have audio on them, they have them. So I'm going to tell that Penn State story because I promised that I would. This is a great story. Right, it is a great story. And then we'll get into the tropics, okay? I haven't had to ban anybody. What is going on? That is incredibly unusual. I have Roku, Cindy. I do have Roku. I'm looking to see, what did I miss? Did I miss anything? Okay, I'm going to tell you the Penn State story. All right, so this was back, I don't remember what year it was, early 2000s, probably. And my assistant news director, Steve Krasik, who now runs the communications department at Penn State, ironically enough. He's a big Penn State fan, okay? Great guy, like one of the nicest guys I've ever worked with. And he was our assistant news director. So we decided to get press credentials to go watch the Penn State-Miami game in the Orange Bowl. It was one of the perks. You get a press pass, and you go in and go on the sideline, you can watch the game. Now, technically, when the press goes to games, you're not supposed to root for anybody. That's like a big thing. If you go into the press box, you don't ever see any of the reporters rooting for anybody because they're, supposed to be impartial. And yet they're local reporters, so they're probably rooting for their home team, but they're not doing it out loud. It's just one of those unwritten rules you don't do. Well, so Steve and I went. We got credentials, and this was the very last year that Jerry Sandusky was the defensive coordinator for Penn State. So whatever year that was this was the year. And anybody who knows the horrific circumstances that went along with him, once he left the university shortly thereafter, I mean, it was awful. But he had been at Penn State for decades as a defensive coordinator. So anyway, Penn State, he was the D coordinator. Joe Paterno was still there. We were about 10 feet, we were along the sideline, right? And we were about 10 feet behind where all the players were standing. And they're, real close to where the players on the field were. So Penn State's losing 3 or 4 points. Can't remember what the score was. And Miami had the ball. And Penn State had 1 timeout left. And there was about 1:30 left in the game. All right? 1 timeout left. Miami ran the ball. So the clock kept moving. Penn State's D-line shot the gap, tackled the running back in the backfield for a loss. All right? 1 timeout left. You're down by 4. Even a field goal, you're within a touchdown. And you want to save time. You want to save the clock. You don't want to let them run the clock down to 40 seconds. You want to save every second you can. So, me knowing the game of football and being the fan that I was, knew that the correct call was call a timeout. I, of course, did not rationalize this or think this. I'm just standing there like I would be in the stands, and I just started yelling, timeout, timeout, not even thinking, because that's what I would have done in the stands. Forgetting the fact that I was 10 feet from the sidelines, and the safety was right there on the sidelines, heard the sidelines yelling timeout, and went over and yelled a timeout. Jerry Sandusky lost his mind. Who called timeout? Who called timeout? He's running back and forth on the sidelines because only the coach can yell timeout, right? So Steve is standing there next to me, and he goes, Dennis, I think you just called timeout. I'm like, yeah, I know. What do we do? Just stand here. So luckily, no one found out that we called timeout. Well, what happened? Miami, with a full minute 30 left in the game, kicked the field goal and missed the field goal, right? And Penn State got the ball back. And on the first play with the ball in their own 30-ish yard line, threw a 70-yard touchdown pass down the sideline, and they won the game. So the moral of the story is I took full credit for that victory in calling that timeout, that there was time for them to run their offense. So anyway, that is my Penn State story. Oh, man, he was so mad. I mean, and the players were like, I don't know, I didn't call timeout. I didn't do. Oh, my God, the funniest story. That is one of my favorite stories ever. All right, anyway, so there you go. There's my Penn State story. Let's talk tropics, all right? Because the tropics, you guys know me, I am not a superstitious guy. You know, oh, you shouldn't say the Q word because it's going to happen. No, I don't have that kind of power. I will say quiet because I don't believe in jinxes. So there you go. There is a look at the forecast for the next 3 weeks. Now, do you remember your friend and mine, the GFS, #Cha-Ching, which was forecasting today a major hurricane hitting Tampa? And remember all those jokers who were posting the GFS in the long range? Oh, well, you know, I'm going to post it because it could be right. No, anything could happen, but why would you post something that 97.8% of the time, and that is the number, by the way, 97.8% of the time it is wrong? Don't you think you're losing credibility by posting something that you know is going to be wrong? Or maybe you don't know it's going to be wrong, and that's the problem these days. But anyway, all these folks were posting it, and, you know, there it is. So there is an outside chance that something develops and goes into the Bay of Campeche from June 18th to the 24th. But look at the following week. Absolutely nothing. From the Gulf to the Caribbean, all the way out into the Atlantic. So there you have that, all right? The Pacific is active, and that is something that usually plays out that way. Typically, if the Pacific is active, the Atlantic is not, and vice versa. You are correct, Sean. Even a blind squirrel can get it right. So let's go ahead and look at some of the models. Here is the euro. All right, this is the euro over the next 10 days. Nice little rainy season setup on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday. On Sunday, it looks like a little less moisture around. The pattern might switch back to a westerly flow by then. Some drier air coming in and maybe cutting off some of that rain potential next week as opposed to what we're getting this week. And then it looks like we get some more moisture coming in toward the end of next week, back to an easterly flow. But the bottom line is that is rainy season. What you don't see is a hurricane. Well, let's look at your friend and mine, the #GFS Cha-Ching. All right? There is Wednesday, there is Thursday, there is Friday, there is Saturday, there is Father's Day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, still pretty quiet until the GFS decides I am not going to give away my shot, and the GFS 2 weeks out predicts another hurricane in the Gulf. Of course it does, because it does every day. That is what the GFS is biased for doing, and we know that, which is why we don't post it, because we know it's going to be wrong. All right, there is Tuesday, there is Wednesday. Now this is the Euro AI, which was probably the most accurate out there last year. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Pacific's active. Monday, Tuesday, little action in the Bay of Campeche next week. And that's what that other Climate Prediction Center was showing as well. Little action right there. See that? Maybe even a little depression forming out there. Middle of next week. Potentially maybe bringing a little bit of rain for Texas or Mexico. Probably not. And then it keeps everything in the Pacific. But your friend and mine, the GFS, hashtag Tashing, if you know, you know, keeps it quiet for a week and then says, all right, it's been quiet long enough. Let's go ahead and develop a hurricane. So it develops one 2 weeks out and brings it to the northwest. This is June 26th. Remember the GFS originally was predicting a Cat 3 hurricane hitting Tampa today? I say it again. It's why we don't have I bought a new ship with my cha-ching earnings? Yeah, because that one joker is like, oh, you mentioned the GFS, you always get paid for it, don't you? No, GFS is a math program. It's a math. It doesn't pay any. Anyway, yeah, that was on Twitter one day, a long time ago. I'm sure I banned him years ago, but the point being, right there is why we don't show the GFS. And I would even argue now, people, oh, I want to be prepared for the worst. I argue with the GFS that's no longer a thing. Because if it's incorrect 97.8% of the time, are you really preparing anybody for something? Because the reality of it is, the GFS has a hurricane every day from June until December. So it's a bunch of nonsense. And anybody who does it doesn't take their job seriously. And it's not their job. I mean, that's the other thing too. I mean, it's, you know, it's a hobby for, you know, a lot of folks. All right. Okay. So I think that is about it. Now let's look at some comments and I will answer questions. Again, we'll be back tomorrow night with Nadine Yanis. Nadine is going to, your friend and mine, Nadine, will be here to talk about insurance, hurricane issues, etc. So those are big things, big questions. So she'll be here tomorrow for that, and then Thursday we'll be back as well. Marianne, how you doing? Bridget, which Jimmy are we talking about? Julie has 3 cats. That's as close to a Cat 3 as we have. It's raining in Lake Magdalene right now. How are you doing, Sarah? Good to see you. And Joanne, nice to see you. David wants to know if hurricane season could be similar to last year. You know, yeah, it could. I don't think it will. I don't think it's going to be nearly as active in the sense of as many threats. You know what? That's a good point. Let's show you another graphic about that, about hurricane stuff. Oh, where is it? I had to make it up. Here we go. So here's the new banners, the new graphics. No development expected over the next 7 days. So there's your July development. Here's your June development. But if you look last year, this is last year. I think Shay actually might have hand-drawn that. I think she might have. But that is what we had. The Western Caribbean and the Gulf was very active. There was not a lot in the Atlantic. Now, we've said that the Atlantic is still relatively cool right now. May limit development somewhat. The Caribbean and the Gulf, still plenty warm enough. So you guys know I just don't do long-range forecasts for hurricane. I just think they're just a waste of time because they're not going to be accurate. You know, like, do I think there's going to be a hurricane in the Caribbean? Yeah. Do I think there'll be a hurricane in the Gulf? Yeah. Do I think there'll be a major hurricane in the Gulf? Probably. Do I think it's going to hit Florida? I don't know. The Gulf is big. It could be anywhere from Mexico to Texas to Louisiana to Florida to Alabama to Mississippi. You know, it's a big area of water. And then, but I do believe because the water is still very warm in those areas, in the Western Caribbean as well, and we're still not in an El Nino, we're more ENSO neutral, maybe even trending a little toward a La Nina down the road, that we're still going to have an active stretch in September and October. Okay? All right, what else we got? I got to save my voice. My voice is really hoarse today. I don't know. Thank you, Donna. Very kind. So, but 3 is a lot, Renee. 3 serious threats are a lot. 87, Julie. The Gulf right now in Clearwater is 87 degrees. So, you know, that's not good. T-shirt, weight, Rule 7 hoodie, preferably zip up. Yeah, I think we had one of those, but because Teespring was just ripping people off, we stopped doing all that stuff, and now we're going to do it ourselves on a different site. Rule number 7, buzzers. Yeah, I don't think anybody would buy the rule number 7 buzzers. I don't. You know, Andrew, it's a good question, but it all depends on the location of high pressure. That's all it is. I mean, here, I'll show you. He wants to know, you know, in terms of which is, you know, are we seeing the west to east flow more? Oh, my daughter Ryan's calling. Stand by. Hold on. Ryan is a big part of DPL as well. So is this Ryan Phillips? Yeah. Hi, Ryan Phillips. We are live on Dennis Phillips Live right now. So what are you doing? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just hanging out with my friends right now.
Okay, do you want to say hi to the DPL audience?
Sure.
Okay, all right, here we go. Go ahead and talk to the DPL audience.
Hi.
Really? That's it? Hi? Who is this? This is not Ryan Phillips.
I was calling.
This is not Ryan Phillips, sorry.
I was calling to ask if it's going to rain.
She wants to know if it's going to rain. You know what? All right, that's a good question. Everybody's saying hi, Ryan, by the way. Everybody.
Looking at the sky, and it's like black.
The sky looks dark? All right, let me look. Hold on, stand by. Everybody's saying hello, Ryan.
Hi.
Oh, wow, yeah, look at that. It is getting closer, isn't it? Yeah, you know what, Ryan? It's going to rain.
Oh, okay, so it is going to rain, yeah.
Yeah, let me look and see which way it's moving. It's making it all the way across the bay.
Like hard rain, like a water rain?
Oh, yeah, you're going to get rain probably in about 5 minutes. And it's going to rain for maybe 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Yeah, it's going to rain in 5 minutes, and it's going to rain heavily for about 20 minutes, and then it'll be over.
Okay.
And I don't see any lightning with it right now, but there,
Saw lightning.
you did see lightning? And what would the lightning safety tips be?
Go inside.
Very good. Yes, go inside. All right, so anyway, do you want to be as witty and as charming with the audience as you were when you said hello and saying goodbye? Because you were so charming and so witty on that.
Is that good?
No, it's not good. I was being sarcastic. You're just like, hi. Okay, here. Say goodbye to everybody. And, okay, ready? Go.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Who are you? This is not Ryan Phillips.
I'm sorry, I'm at somebody's house.
She's at somebody's house. I don't care. There's 11 billion people watching you right now, and you're just like, hi. Like, have I ever had to twist your arm to talk, girl? Ever. Ever.
Yeah,
Exactly. Okay. All right, I love you. Have fun. Be safe. Get out of the rain. All right, I love you. Bye. All right, bye. All right, that was my daughter. You guys have known her. She played the open theme song back in the COVID days. But I don't think that was Ryan. I'm going to be honest. That was AI. That was probably AI, because my daughter does not say 1 or 2 words. That just does not happen. She started drama and dance and singing lessons today in Clearwater, and very excited about that, because she's a little performer. She definitely is. No, she will not be a meteorologist, Eric. Oh, no. She does not like math. She is not a math fan or even a science fan. But boy, she's a singing fan and a drama fan and all that stuff. So she could do both, but I'm not so sure that she's going to go down that path, if I were to guess. But she can do whatever she wants to, right? Okay. Let's look at radar again real quick, because she brought up a valid point. It's about to rain in anywhere from around Clearwater north, and it's raining right now. Here, let's go ahead and do the little tracking thing here that we can do. All right, so there's some of the spots with rain and the time that it's going to get there. And yeah, to make it all the way back to you know what, I'm going to post this on Facebook right now. stand by. Let's go ahead and this is how I do. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I'm actually posting this on. Does that show up on your screen? I don't know. I don't think it will, but let's see if it does. Rain, scattered storms making it all the way back to the coast in a few spots. Look for more widespread rains on Wednesday. Okay, post. And post. All right, there you go. That's posted. So that's it. Yeah, your screen didn't change. I didn't think so. I didn't think it would just be the output from the monitor. All right, guys. Well, we covered a lot of stuff tonight about the show, about the TV broadcast, about going to your local grocery store and saying you want rule number 7, and ask them and they'll get it. Because all I'm saying is if they're not carrying it, what the heck is their problem? These cans will sell. They sold out in one day, hundreds of cases of the stuff, one day. So seems like it would be a good idea. Yep, very dark in Palm Harbor, Christy. That's what my daughter just mentioned as well. She's like, oh, the heck, I'm getting out of here. So. All right, well, you guys have a great night. Tomorrow night, Nadine will be sitting right here to talk about hurricane and insurance questions and things like that, and we'll be, who knows what kind of tomfoolery that will be going on outside of just Nadine talking, but we'll be doing that, and then we'll be back on Thursday as well. So you have a great night. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you on tomorrow night's edition of Dennis Phillips Live. Tomorrow night's is DPL Plus. See you guys.